of the things that we were looking at in terms of our commencement ceremonies was to develop a little more ritual and formality to it, because it is a very special event for many in the room, and to commemorate it with some of the symbols and the history and the regalia of commencement and graduation ceremonies from since the Middle Ages seemed an appropriate way to celebrate the success of our students. And so, conversations were about adding banners so that we would have each of our academic divisions represented by a banner. And then the idea of a mace, which is a common tradition among universities and some colleges for many years, that kind of is a banner around which learning congregates. And so it's a way for us to say, like the Olympic torch, this is our Olympic torch of the school.
We teach machine drafting, and David, Keith, and I worked on the design. We wanted to generate a design, not so much of a scepter, but more of a mace, which is going back to the original purpose of the mace, is that it was a type of weapon. So the design had a little bit of a rustic feel to it originally, and then we wanted to take it back to have a little bit of the being the Viking is the Del Mar College mascot, going towards something that would lean into Norse aesthetic.
I think Claudia Jackson had the brainstorm of why don't we have our students, our design students as well as our welding students, get involved and let's see what they come up with. And in fact, that's what happened. And so we have our design students worked on the structure of the mace and what it would look like. And now that's being handed to our welding students. And they are in the process of converting that model into a beautiful piece of metal work.
This mace is what I look at is going to be a legacy for Del Mar. It's a symbol of power that will lead in the procession for all the graduations to come. And I've got my students, I put this in their program as projects, so each one will have a part. I'm making each part and assemble it as a whole as the mace. We're going to be making out of aluminum and brass, and consists of all the operations that we do learn here in our labs at Del Mar, in our industrial machining classes. Each one has a piece of the project that will involve lathe turning, drilling, threading, and they'll taper and polish to the print, and then each piece will be assembled together to create the mace. The CNC department is involved too, also making more complex parts to it, and it's an all-around project that will be able to show the capability of what our students can do.
It is a piece that from conception to realization was created and realized all within the confines of this campus.
It's, again, another example of how Del Mar College wants to celebrate learning and how we want it to be more than, just you pass your classes and you get a diploma. It really is a milestone event for many, if not all, of our students. And so to give it that level of ceremonial attention is something that we're working more diligently on to again, celebrate our student success.